All right, what up, though? What up, though? Happy Friday to you. We are back for another What Up, though Fridays. How y'all doing today? Let me know in the comments where you tuning in from. I'm about to hit live on Instagram. I'm also live on TikTok under Lady Contractor. Today is What Up, though Fridays. What up, though? What up, though? Let me know where y'all tuning in from in the comments in the chat. Today's topic is Detroit news you can use. I don't know, because I do this every now and then to give y'all an update on what's going on in the city. So y'all can go be great. Let me put this at the bottom. If y'all know any software where I can go live across all platforms at one time, that would be fantastic because I'm over it. I've been researching. I saw Ecamm might be a good one. So I'm about to test them out and see. Detroit Northeast Side, what up, though? Okay, Schoolcraft, what up, though? Let me turn this up so y'all can hear me. But I'm live on YouTube for those that are tuning in from LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram. If y'all want to come over here so y'all can actually see the screen. This episode is called Detroit News You Can Use, and we are literally going to talk about all the great things that's going on in my great city. From Memphis, what up, though? I love Memphis. I got a lot of close friends from the M that I went to Jackson State with. Shout out to them. Let me share my screen so we can get going. It's so much to talk about. All right, so first, church announcements. First, Real Estate Fridays is back, y'all. We are starting back next Friday, 4/24/26 at I tell people 7 p.m., but we'll probably start between like 7:15 and 7:30 to get time for the land bank to set up because I don't know what time they're gonna get there. Give me time to get there, y'all time to get there. Park. I suggest you get there early because the land bank would normally be wall to wall. I know last year we had over 300 people sign up, and I believe everybody came plus some. It was people standing like outside in the hallway, in the doorway, on the street, on the 6 Mile side, like at the window. Like it was packed. So make sure y'all come early, especially if you plan on, eating, because that's all we ask is that you come spend at least $15 in food and beverages. So if you plan on ordering some food, because that kitchen gonna get backed up, you might want to get there early. Bring your business cards, for networking. All your questions that y'all be asking me in the inbox or emails and DMs and all that good stuff, come ask the land bank so you can hear directly from them. Because I think a lot of y'all think I be lying, and I don't. So I think it's better when I can have the people who work for the land bank come and tell y'all what it is and what it ain't. Also, if you are a tenant in the city of Detroit, specifically Detroit tenants, I definitely need y'all. I need like I think 5 people signed up. I'm gonna start calling them back tomorrow. Actually, we need about 10 people. All I need you to do is to show up with something to pop a balloon with, and a red balloon or whatever color you can get, because we ain't really got no format. I'm really just winging this idea I got. Everybody I told bust out laughing. So I know it's gonna do numbers. I know it is, to the point where it's gonna bring in sponsorship to where I could really like produce this. And then I want to travel to other cities and do this show too. So this is gonna be pretty dope. Like I already know it. But yeah, I got enough landlords. I know enough of them. I just need a good 10 tenants. That's all I want. Or if I can't get 10, I'm just gonna roll with the 5 I got. And those be the ones we roll with for every episode. But every episode we film in Detroit, I would like to have, different people, different landlords I know, different tenants that I don't know or do know. I really don't want nobody I know on the tenant side because it's gonna be dope. And we filming that next Saturday. So I'm gonna reach out to the people who did sign up. I saw it was a couple people on the response sheet. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, Real Estate Fridays, we back next week. There would not be a Real Estate Fridays in May, because that is always Memorial Day weekend, and I'll probably be at Techno Fest. So, and I figure y'all is too for all my Detroiters or movement, whatever it's called now. So, yeah. So we won't have one then. Then we'll be back in June. June, Chase Bank will be speaking on all the new first time home buyer grants, and insert here if you want to be a homeowner, which I definitely strongly suggest that if you are trying to combat this gentrification on the real estate side, as far as the renter or being a homeowner, I buy you a house. If you can't afford to get you a house by yourself, you and your cousins, and or a bunch of y'all friends, do like some of my clients that done did that I done met over the years. Y'all all go in one big ass house over there in Virginia Park or somewhere together. Go get y'all a 2 family flat. Y'all act like y'all too good to live together. That's how my elders did it when they came. Everybody migrated to Detroit back in the 40s and 50s to work at the plant. All my family migrated from the South, and everybody stayed on Westminster, Oakland, in that 2 family flat at least once in their life. That was the family house. My great grand, not my great grand, my great aunt uncle, they lived there. They had been up here since like the 30s. And then so as everybody from down south came, everybody stayed in that 2 family till they got on their feet and they left. And then the next batch came. I even stayed over there for like a year with my mom, going into my senior year of high school, because the house that we end up getting, the city, some program built that I ended up seeing. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, Comcast or whoever it used to be called, Warner or something cable we used to have back in the day. They used to have this channel to where all the stuff going on in the city would be on there. Like now how the city posts on Instagram, it used to be a channel and they would just, it would just read. It'd be like in green. You know how the old school video stuff would be, it'd be like that. And they had a meeting like, hey, if you want to be a homeowner, we building these new houses on the east side, come to this meeting. So I wrote it down. I gave it to my mom. She went. I think it was her and like 2 or 3 people there, and that's how we ended up getting our house. And our house, we over there on the east side. That's all getting gentrified over there by Belle Isle. So we over that way. So that's, it's a lot of that's about to start back happening too with some of these programs I've read up on, especially with Mary Sheffield being in the office. She's really being big on pushing affordable housing. But what I don't want to happen, I'm starting to see affordable housing is important for low income to medium income, but I don't want them to forget about the people who are middle class, like true middle class Detroiters, which we do have a big middle class population that's also kind of getting pushed out too. And those people are probably going to be the ones who are looking for a house between like $100,000 and $250,000. And I don't really see nobody paying attention to that, or even starter homes. Cause you can get a nice house in Detroit for 250, a very nice house, brick. Now, depending on the neighborhood, it might be more than that, and you'll still need to rehab it. So you have to pay attention to that. What other church announcements? July, we will be meeting on the Joe Louis Greenway. I'm waiting to confirm some stuff from with the Joe Louis Greenway partnership. But if they can't help me with this, we just gonna show up. It's a public space, and I'm gonna give y'all a little speech, and we gonna get on the little scooters and tour that boy. Cause I really think the stuff I be saying to people who from Detroit don't understand what I'm saying, or maybe it ain't that they don't understand it. Maybe it just ain't clicking about what's really going on in the city and what's really, I ain't gonna say about to happen, about what's really happening. And I think if you go on the Greenway and really see it with your eyes instead of just seeing me talking about it, posting videos and so forth, I think it'll make a really, really big difference. I hope. But if not, oh well, you can just rent from those of us who listened and bought when they was supposed to do and do what they was supposed to do, and you just gonna rent from us at market rate. I digress. Um, so that's the July topic. I mean, July. August is the Wayne County tax auction. We always do one on the auction. That'll be in person, and then I'll see if Reg got time to do one online too. We haven't did one online probably since 24, so there are a lot of updates. I've personally never bidded in a tax auction. I always got my stuff before it hit the auction from that owner, but this year I will be bidding for the first time ever, and because I'm just buying land. I'm not buying no more properties. I'm only specifically buying land. And then the September topic will be on rehabbing and new construction in Detroit, and that's it. We normally stop in October, September, because October the turnout be hit or miss, so we just stop in September. But if y'all got any questions, put it in the chat in the comments. I'll read them later, and it's gonna get popping. So the first order of business for Detroit. This is Bridge Detroit. Shout them out. They are a private owned maybe it's public because they go off donations, so they might be considered a nonprofit. But they're a journalist group. They're pretty awesome. I don't believe they give any biased opinions on what's really going on in the city. You can go to bridgedetroit.com, put your email in there, sign up, and all the stuff I'll be finding out, you can go right on there and they're gonna send you an update. So this topic is Detroit unveils redevelopment project for the Packer plant. Now, if you're from Detroit, this Packer plant been getting redeveloped for about a good 10 years. If y'all remember when the market first crashed here, it was this big developer out of France or somewhere, I think it was, who first had purchased it from the city for pennies on the dollar, and he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So they ended up taking it back some years ago, and now here we are. But if you drive over there, I might go by there and do an updated video, like with the drone footage and everything. You could really see like they've been working the last 2-3 years. Like they done tore down a lot of them buildings. They done did some environmental cleanup. At least it looked like they did. I can't prove that yes or nay. Yay or nay. That's a question for the city. Y'all have to ask them, but I believe they have. And you'll just see, and it's nothing but miles and miles of land over there. So if you're not an East Sider and you don't know what a Packer plant is, this is like what's that, the boulevard? Because if you drive East Grand Boulevard from Jefferson, it curves like on that street that started with an F that turned into 94. And then but when it curves, you go to the left, that's still East Grand Boulevard. And then the Packer plant, it's like a little Motel 6 or something. And then the Packer plant on the right. So all that over there is getting redeveloped in that whole pocket. And that includes up to probably Mount Elliott. So everything over there about to get a big bang of real estate people probably coming to buy, because there's a lot of 2-family flats over there. I don't really think it's too many single families. And the 2 families over there are brick. It's a Coney over there, that Royal barbecue spot over there that I don't know if y'all remember a couple years ago, the lady spit in some soup or something like that, allegedly. And the video went hella viral. So it's over that way. And then you got what else over there? You got the Coney Royal, so of course there's a liquor store over there. One of my supply shops over there, East Side Drywall, I think that's over there too, off Mount Elliott and the book East Grand, and then you got 94, and then come on around, it'll take you to damn near what's that? Hamtramck by the GM plant and all that good stuff. So this all over there. So all right. So this article, this was posted back on December 1st of last year, actually. So they signed the letter of intent. Oh, let me back up. So the Packer plant is 28 acres. This thing is humongous. Like if you really go by there, it's huge. So they plan to redevelop it with housing. Now, if it's going to be affordable or market, I don't know. But it's supposed to be that, an indoor skating park, which I think is going to be dope, and an electronic music museum. I would definitely go check that out. So then the then mayor, Mike Duggan, he's no longer our mayor. He said the city has signed a letter of intent with Packer Development Partners for the $50 million plan to reactivate the southern section of the sprawling site, including a legacy Albert Kahn design building along East Grand Boulevard. Now, Albert Kahn is, or however I'm saying that wrong, he is one of the, I don't know if he worldwide known, but he's a huge architect from back in the day. He designed like Indian Village, I think, Boston Edison houses, some of the Rosedale Park, all the really nice brick homes. He designed them 100+ years ago back in the day. So he had a very good foresight of what he wanted Detroit to be. So it's going to be a mixed adaptive reuse property with a public private philanthropic partnership. So it might be some affordable housing in there with all them words. City of Detroit Economic Growth Court, the Albert Kahn Legacy Foundation, regional partnership, and accelerated effort through some grant. So this probably will be some type of affordable housing thing. I don't know. Because that environmental cleanup over there had to be a couple $1 million. You talking about straight up asbestos, lead paint. Because the Packer plant built cars back in like the early 1900s up until I think the 70s or the 80s. So lead paint didn't become illegal to probably the 80s, because the law is like, I think it's anything built before 1978 is automatic lead paint. All these old Detroit houses got lead paint in them if they never been painted, and if you just keep painting over it, it's still lead paint under there. That's why I got my house. I ain't got time for that. Take it out. Get rid of it. So they said this is supposed to create jobs, of course, construction jobs. Now, are these construction jobs gonna have people who look like me on these sites? That's a whole nother topic. I'm not sure. It's supposed to help preserve history, establish new housing options, and build culture and community. They say this project will include 393,000 square feet of an Class A industrial building designed to create 300 permanent good paying manufacturing jobs, okay, plus construction jobs, a renovated 117,000 square foot legacy building for Mr. Albert Kahn for community culture, housing, and creative use. So I guess like a big old co working space or something, including a 42 make believe affordable housing units. Oh, so it's going to be 42 affordable housing units in Detroit's first indoor skate park. That skate park kind of let me know that's probably it's going to be for us, but if us is going to be there, I don't know because we skate, but not like that. But there is a skate park over there on Davidson and what's that, Conant over there by Buddy's Pizza. That famous skater I can't Tony Hawk did back in the day. So it'd be all kind of odd demographic of people over there. So maybe, but it's gonna be 42 affordable housing over there, which I kind of figured for this type of project, it got to be some type of affordable housing money uh allotted to this. The Museum of Detroit Electronic Music, definitely going to that. And then it says it's going to be 2 acres of indoor, outdoor public space and recreation out of the 28 acres. Um, so the plant, which represented 3.5 million square feet of industrial space over 47 buildings. Dog, it was 47 buildings on that 28 acres. I got to go find some old footage because that's crazy. That's a huge site. It closed in 1956, so I was way off. I thought it closed in the 80s. That might have been the Fisher plant, one of them. But anyway, 5 years ago, the Packer plant was still standing as Detroit's most iconic ruin, continuing to drag down the surrounding neighborhood. Yeah, if you go look on YouTube, it's videos of people going all up in there. Y'all brave. It took an incredible amount of work to gain title to the property and tear down everything that could not be saved in hopes for a day like this. Until 2022, the Packer property was owned by Fernando Palazzolo. That's the guy I was talking about earlier from Perry. He controlled the Arts Express, I guess that was his development firm, for nearly a decade, had owned more than 1 million square feet of the plant. He accrued more than 1.5 million in unpaid taxes, water drainage costs, blight tickets, and then ended up losing most of his portions to the county due to unpaid taxes. So that's how he lost it. He wasn't taking care of doing what he was supposed to do. I think he got in over his head. It was a great idea. The development renderings were beautiful, but people don't really understand what stuff costs, especially on that man. I know that environmental cleanup over there had to be several $1,000,000. It just had to. Because then when you take the stuff out, there's only certain places you can dump it. And when you dump it, they're going to tax you because it's hazardous waste. But the city has demolished most of the dangerous sections on Concord and East Grand Boulevard. That's that street. Um, so there are opportunities over there for redevelopment on the north side of the site, which will be overseen by now Mayor Mary Sheffield when she takes office in January. They had a news conference on this, so it's probably on the City of Detroit YouTube channel somewhere. They're saying it's going to be a symbol of what is possible for when Detroiters and partners and developers come together. So this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm gonna be all up in there, so I really don't care. I'm gonna be there. Hopefully, I get invited to come tour when they first open, so I can get y'all kind of like a little exclusive. So their nonprofit partner. Oh, this was smart. So sorry, y'all, I'm going off the topic. So look, from a developer standpoint, because I'm getting into development now, the nonprofit is the way to go. So they partner with the Albert Kahn Foundation as their nonprofit, so they can probably go after Mr. grants or insert grant here that you got to be a nonprofit. So that's why they dedicating that portion to their legacy foundation, so they can get whatever tax credits or grants that they can use for that. That was smart. Um, so they request during the grand opening of Dream Trot, I guess, or Dream Try It. I guess they're supposed to be Dream in Detroit together. They talking about doing adaptive reuse strategies. The Packer site is the birthplace of Albert and Julius Kahn pioneering reinforced concrete system. So that's why they're doing it too, which reshaped industrial engineering worldwide. When built, it was the largest industrial facility worldwide with more than 3 million square feet and 36,000 employees. They are thrilled to see this plan, blah, blah, blah. They said it's supposed to be done by 2029. So park.com, it won't let me click on it. Oh, they don't have a website. It's just emails. Okay, that's cool too. But I will post the link to all these articles in the comments so y'all can see it. All right. Yeah, he designed all the factories. I knew that, but he also did like residential too. Like that man was on point. He was on point. All right. So that's that article. Next topic. I gotta go to my little notes. So this one is not really about development, but it kind of is in Detroit. This one on Bridge Detroit as well. So the Leland House, which is a beautiful, it's downtown like a Bagley and Cass, very nice building. So some residents receive a notice after Thanksgiving that the building would be shutting down in less than a week, leaving them basically homeless. And this was posted December 1st as well of last year. Now that's bold. So whoever owned that building, y'all wrong for that. They basically got an eviction notice with 7-day notice, heads up. Now in Michigan, I think you only got to do a 7-day, 7 or 10 day. It had to be legal for them to get it. But then you gonna give it to the that's just trifling. But this article is titled Leland House residents faces power shut off, possible relocation. So it sounds like they forcing them out. So either a few things could have happened. They selling the building and y'all got to get up out of there because whoever about to build it, buy it, they're going to renovate it to today's modern stuff and up that rent on y'all. Or they losing it to taxes or losing it to the bank. It's a couple of things this could be. Has 40 occupied units and could lose power. So out of that whole big ass building, it's only 40 units that was occupied. So he wasn't paying the power bill. So the power bill that he is responsible for is for all the common areas in the exterior. So all the exterior lights, all the hallways, elevators, basement, and then the tenant responsible for their own power. So he was of the power bill. So I guess he tried to do all possible options. They informed that the building will be required to shut down effective Wednesday. This was December 3rd of last year, which makes sense because if there's no power, people can't heat their homes, and this was in the middle of winter. So yeah, that's not cool. I'm wondering, can these tenants sue? Low key, I wonder, can they sue? I don't know if that's a class action lawsuit, but it's a question that should be asked if I were them. This is not a decision we ever wanted. We are deeply saddened by the circumstances that have led us here, reads the letter dated November 28th. Now, ain't that some shit? You just finished eating your turkey and your dressing with some macaroni, cheese, and yams and greens and whatever dessert of your choosing. And you like, let me start cleaning up this house, get ready for, Christmas or December, the new month. And then you get to notice how much you got to hurry up and move. Moving in the winter got to suck. It just has to. And then where y'all gonna go? Especially depending on what type of rent you've been paying. It depends on how long he's owned this or they own this, how long those people been staying there, and what type of rent they was paying. Because the average rent in Detroit right now is $1,500 in the neighborhood. I done seen stuff from Brightmo, $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, $1,600. Brightmo. So here go the letter. I'm going to read it for y'all. Dear residents, it is with a very heavy heart that I write this letter. After exhausting all possible options, we have been informed that the building will be required to shut down effective Wednesday, December 3rd. This is not a decision we ever wanted, and we are deeply saddened that circumstances could have led us here. We understand how disruptive and stressful this is, and we want you to know that you are not facing this alone. We will be doing everything we can to assist you. Over the next few days, the City of Detroit Housing will provide resources, context, and direct support to help with relocation. Many of you have lived here for years, and we are truly grateful for the trust, community, and kindness you have shared with us. Watching this building become a home for so many wonderful people has been one of the greatest privileges of our work. We are deeply sorry that this sudden change is happening, and we sincerely apologize for the hardship it brings. Thank you for being part of this community. We will continue to communicate updates and support you throughout this transaction, blah, 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 blah. Now, if I was this landlord or owner of this property, I would have did this a little bit better. At minimum, I would have gave people at least 60 days. That's just me. I would have gave you 60 days. And then if this was dated November 28th, I would have told everybody probably September after they paid their September rent. And then I would just say, y'all got 60 days from the day to leave. Don't worry about y'all rent. So y'all can use those 2 months of money to, move. Now, in a case like this, I want to do these people get their deposit back. Do they get that back? Because if he facing or she or them, if they're facing bankruptcy, do they even have the money to get these people their deposit back? And if they don't get their deposit back, you better sue. You better sue. Because that is a lawsuit. You're supposed to get your deposit back unless you done tore the house up or something else that happened to y'all and came to some type of agreement to where you forfeited your deposit because you didn't pay this amount of money rent and I won't take you through eviction court or something. Something like that. Because some people do that. Like, okay, well, I just keep your deposit and you gonna be great and go somewhere else. This is bold, man. Like, I understand business. I'm a business person too, but at some point, every now and then you got to show some type of morality, integrity. Well, you should always show integrity, but for show some type of morality, compassion, sympathy, something. Because this is a case to where you messed up somewhere down the line to where only 40 units of insert how many are only rented. So I don't know. Because even before it got to this point, they could have sold this building. This in a harder downtown. So if they going through bankruptcy, they somebody gonna buy that because that's downtown. That's a beautiful building. It's an old hotel. They might make it a hotel again. All right, so they are filing Chapter 11, and they owe DTE $43,000, which had to be paid by that Wednesday, or they gonna shut the power off. To owe $43,000, how long has it been since you paid a DTE bill? That is insane. But if he got 40 units, that's why I'm wondering what was the rent over there to where you couldn't cover your stuff unless the building was so old with all the repairs. I mean, stuff does happen, but like it's a way you supposed to do stuff, man. Like that's why I tell people how you operate in your personal life is the same you're gonna operate in your business when it comes to finances. It's the exact same way. All right, the owner requested a 1 week. That probably was his 100th request. We obtained finance, but we are concerned the funds for DTE will not be available from the lender by then. So they got the money ready to go from a lender, but they don't know when they'll get it. So because of this, tenants were notified last Friday that without a last-minute resolution, they will be required to seek new housing. Our priority is the safety and stability of residents. We are working around the clock to prevent destruction and keep the building operational, blah, blah, blah. No, they got to go because if DT going to cut the power off by whatever day they said, yeah, they got to be out because it's the day of the winter. The City of Detroit's law department has been involved in the case and got permission to connect to tenants with relocation. So this was built in 1927. It originally opened at Detroit as Detroit Leland Hotel, right? 700 rooms. So if it's 720 rooms and they made all them 2 bedrooms, that's still what 350 something units. So only 40 of them boys was rented. I see why he filed bankruptcy. The building was renamed to the Leland House and was renovated to include apartments. The hotel eventually stopped taking overnight guests. The late real estate developer Michael Higgins bought the building in 1980, and then the Leland Club opened in the mid 80s. Well, that's when the whole city began. So I see that. They planned a $125 million overhaul of the 22-story building, but it was stalled and was at the center of a big lawsuit a couple years ago. And then more recently, they filed bankruptcy ahead of its sale to the new owners. Mm. All right, so they said many of you have lived for years. We read that part that was in the letter. So one resident who had been there 15 years also works there and said it's impossible 60 units so quickly, and the notice leaves residents stranded. The building only has one passenger elevator and no freight elevator. He pays $550 a month for rent and utilities for about 750 square feet. He is not going to get rent for $550 nowhere in the city of Detroit. Nowhere. Unless it's some type of subsidized housing insert here, and it's not going to be in no good neighborhood. Unless they get Section 8 and that's their portion. Or a HUD VAS or something. And then if it's only one elevator, what if that elevator break down because it's getting all this use now? This is crazy. This is crazy. And then what about the tenants who can't find nowhere to go and refuse to leave and start squatting? How that's gonna work? This is a mess. You got people who done been there 30 years and have nowhere else to go. Hopefully they got some family. A lot of us, we need time. We are old, right? You've been there 30 years. The building is not approved as a rental, so it ain't even in compliance, which I'm sure they can't keep the heat on. They owe $297,773 in overdue property taxes. Y'all ain't took that boy yet? Y'all be coming after us little landlords for $722.16. How come y'all ain't take it yet? Unless he was on the payment plan. That's crazy. So what was the water bill? I got questions. I have questions. This is crazy. I hope those, like, this is April, so hopefully those people are good to go by now. But that is really, really messed up. But I put the link to the article in the comments. We're gonna keep on going down this list because that pissed me off. All right, next up. Let's see. All right, next up, we are gonna talk about the new Ranson development that's been going crazy online that we are. So they posted this, like, I think in the summer or fall, maybe last year, they was talking about it. This is what they are saying it's supposed to be. Now, if it end up looking like this, I'm kind of okay. But the first rendering only had the tower in the middle and none of the small towers. Like, all that was going to be the big in the middle where the hotel and stuff at now. I guess they going after the whole Navy Pier thing like Chicago got, which is okay. That makes sense. We on the water. If it looked like this, I might be okay with it. So they saying this is proposed to be $1.6 billion to renovate, which is going to be higher than that. I think that's kind of low. I think it's going to be $2 billion plus. It's going to be hella change orders and some contingencies that's going to get missed because the demo alone going to be $several million. Tear all that old industrial concrete down because this got built in like the 70s, I think. But yeah, I gotta renew my subscription, so I can't read the whole article. But yeah. So all these is in the Crane. I suggest y'all read or get on their email list. I gotta renew my subscription so I can see the whole article. But I will post these in the comment. I think the rest of my stuff is in the Crane, so my bad, y'all. But yeah, as far as the development go, I don't know. Let me see if I can find a video real quick. Renaissance Center new development. All right, so historic Detroit. So this is what they said when I just Googled it. So they are talking about demolishing two 39-story office towers to create a 27-acre open access waterfront destination. I mean, if this is what they're going to do, I'm going to be down there. So I'm going to enjoy this new Detroit because the way I look at it is this. We would not have a new Detroit had old Detroit not stayed. So y'all better go down there and enjoy all of this, all of it, because we deserve it. Because we stayed when there wasn't no street lights, when the EMS wasn't coming, when the police wasn't coming, when the police cars was breaking down for that. God donated all them new the Ford Taurus and Impalas and what I forgot what I think he donated some chargers. This was a couple years ago, and new EMS trucks and stuff to help get the city going. So we deserve all of this. That's first and foremost. So anyway, the plan aims to right size the complex, converting remaining towers into residential hotel and updated office spaces. They're gonna rent out, they're gonna sell out, just like the so GM moved their headquarters back on Woodward like how it was before they moved here in 76, I think it was, to the new Hudson building. Now that new Hudson building, I think those condos started at 600,000. And to some of the realtors I've talked to who are doing the management over there, most of them boys already sold. Like and they starting at 600,000 for a one bedroom or a studio. Now what the square footage is, I don't know, but it can't be that big. It just can't be. So the plan of the new redesign is to demo the two office tower closest to the river. So that's them two small ones, 300 and 400. And then that's gonna open up the view. Now that view gonna be beautiful. Hopefully they keep that restaurant that's on the top floor of the Renaissance Center. I've personally never been there, but it's on my bucket list to go there. They plan to turn it also to a public space to feature new expanded plaza and pedestrian walkways and the Millennium Park-like space for the community. I guess something futuristic. Supposed to be mixed use with the remaining towers, including the 73-story Marriott Hotel. Those Marriott rooms are updated, but they can stand to be updated again because that update was over 25 years ago. They can update them again. It's the view and the location that what people be paying for. It's going to be some affordable housing in there, so that's probably going to be 20 units out of however many because it only has to be a portion minimum. They're going to remove the Fortress Podium, which is that big old concrete maze structure that separates the city from the river. That's going to be replaced. The timeline, I don't know when it's supposed to start though, but we're going to see. Let me see this article. So this was on Historic Detroit website, historicdetroit.org. So they go another rendering. That one don't look as fancy as the one on the crane. Oh, here we go. Hey, that boy kind of hard though. I ain't gonna even lie. Like at first I was against it because any movie about Detroit on Tubi or Beverly Hills Cop, any Detroit movie, that our skyline is out cold. So I wonder what that's gonna look like. Somebody need to recreate that in AI for me. I think see kind of what it's gonna look like so we won't be shocked. But well, at least they got black people on the render. Okay. So this is all they got on Historic Detroit page so far. So I keep y'all updated with that. I ain't really heard too much about it lately, but I will put this link in the comments as well. So let's go to the next article. I got a couple left. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is about the Kresge Foundation. My mom used to work for SS Kresge. Used to be a restaurant back in the day. That was her how she came to the city, and my mom came here in like the 60s. All right, share this tab. And let me put this in the comments for y'all so y'all can read this at your leisure. All right. The Kresge Foundation investing $180 million in neighborhoods plans new headquarters in Detroit. This was September of last year. This was like breaking news. It was all on social media, at least on the stuff I follow, but it was everywhere. So they're deepening their long-term commitment to Detroit with new investments to advance resident-led vision for the future of the neighborhoods. The neighborhoods now, which makes sense because they are moving their headquarters. It used to be in Detroit, then they moved to Troy, and now they're moving it back to Detroit at Mary Grove campus. That's a private school. I think it's like a Catholic college or something like that. on the northwest side, like the 6 Mile and Bagley up in there, right? Well, it's on 6 mile between Bagley and Wyoming. It's up in that pocket. Very nice brick homes over there, family. So this makes perfect sense. They have to invest in the neighborhoods because if they're moving their headquarters from Troy back to Detroit, their employees need somewhere to go and stay because they don't want to have to make that drive every day from Troy to the west side. That's a little journey, especially if you're in rush hour traffic. So they saying this announcement builds on more than a decade of investments that they have made in improving the quality of the neighborhood life in Detroit. Those investments will continue across the city, but this constellation of commitments focuses on the neighborhoods in the Livernois, Matt Nichols, aka 6 Mile corridor, bringing the foundation's total investments in the area to nearly $400 million. So they about to put $400 million over there in Bagley, y'all. So that's the Bagley neighborhood. That's Fitzgerald over there, and University District is well on the other side of 6 Mile. University District, Sherwood Forest, Green Acres, that whole pocket, like where Bakers and all that, all that's about to get $400 million. That's crazy. Then on top of that, they're going to invest another $180 million over the next 5 years in housing stabilization, home ownership, commercial corridor revitalization, public space enhancement, and financial support to residents and businesses in the Fitzgerald, Bagley, University Districts, and Martin Park neighborhoods. Dog, I know my city. Them all neighborhoods I just said. The investments will be grounded in extensive and deep community engagement that is designed to generate approaches that can be sustained over the long term that are rooted in honoring the desire of existing residents who plan to stay. So, in layman's terms, what they saying is we gonna finish the redevelopment over here that we already been started. Bagley real estate the same right now. I think a house that still need to be gutted over there going for 150. Then when it's done, they over 3, 4, 500,000. Cause them houses is big as hell. Most of them is big, beautiful brick 2 family flats. A lot of people are converting them from 2 families to single families and selling them at record prices. I got a client out of Dallas who did a house over there across the street from Lou's, and I think that boy sold for 3 or 400. Um, the fact that we're able to be here in Marygrove. Grove. Oh, here's a video.
When the future calls, we must answer. Detroit is the epicenter of Kresge's mission. It's where we started 100 years ago and remains the launchpad for the next century of our work in American cities. Through the good times and some hard times, we've seen what happens when Detroit bands together. The remarkable makeover of the riverfront, a vibrant downtown, a booming midtown. And Kresge is actively partnering with organizations big and small to spread more seeds of revival into neighborhoods. Northwest Detroit is the heart of Detroit's Black middle class. The Livernois-McNichols area is the epicenter of our commitment to our neighborhoods. We're not just investing here, we're advocating for an inclusive revival. Through the Live 6 Alliance, we're helping to catalyze equitable development through housing, education, economic development, and climate resilience. We joined civic and philanthropic partners to transform vacant lots into the vibrant Ella Fitzgerald Park and connecting Greenway. And rather than let the 53-acre Marygrove College site shutter, we led its reimagination as a cradle-to-career that has become a national model for urban education. Now the city's next generation, from infants to undergrads, are educated and cared for here, alongside dozens of nonprofit organizations that are preserving and uplifting the city's credo and culture. But the future calls for more. And that is why the Kresge Foundation is doubling down on the city of Detroit to reaffirm our mission and reach for our North Star to expand equity and opportunity in American cities. The time is now, and the place for Kresge's homecoming is in Northwest Detroit. It's good to be home.
So y'all see how they call that a homecoming? Because in other words, they coming back home to the city. I'll never forget. I was a kid, and my mama always told me that it was this white guy that on her one of her old streets. She first came to the city, and she was asking him like why he won't leave, and he said, "Cause we gonna come get our city back." And if you ask any elder in Detroit, that's like probably late 50s and on up, especially the ones that was here probably around the riots and stuff, they gonna tell you the same thing. The white people who stayed in Detroit all this time, they knew they was coming back to get their city. They knew it. I don't know if y'all remember this, depending on your age, but I'm 43, right? I remember when on the news talking about whatever we do when my time is up as mayor, do not get the water up. And we gave the water up. Now the water is called Great Lakes Water Authority or something like that. Detroit is some of the best water in the world. Like I don't know no other city where I can drink water fresh out the tap and it tastes as good as Detroit water does. And they coming back for it. If y'all just go outside and really open your eyes, I'm talking to the people who are born and raised in Detroit, true Detroiters, for life, y'all gonna see it. Who you see riding around on them scooters, them little mojo bikes? The days when the weather did break these last couple weeks, that's all you saw outside. We was outside too now, I ain't gonna say outside kicking it, but they was outside like frolicking, just living. But yeah, so all that little pocket over there, if you live over there in Bagley, Fitzgerald, Martin Park, that whole little area, go and keep your house. Make sure you keep your taxes up to date. The outside of your house need to always be presentable. Keep that grass cut, keep the bushes trimmed. Any trip hazards on your side of the property, which is the threshold at the walkway going up to your front door, that is you. From the threshold to the sidewalk and to the street, that's the city. Any issues with that, overgrown trees, uh, cracked up sidewalks, or anything like that, download the City of Detroit app. I forgot the name was called. I think it's called Improve Detroit or something like that. Take a picture, comment in there what's going on, where is that, and they're gonna come fix it. You might have to keep doing it, but they will come. Or tag them on Instagram and they'll come. Um Also, if you go drive up and down 6 Mile lately, it's a lot. You're gonna see a lot of dumpsters on them side streets going up to these houses. A lot of new restaurants coming over there getting renovated, or build a whole apartment building across the street from the Detroit Pizza Bar where we be meeting at for our meetups or whatever. So pay critical repairs and accessibility improvements, which is like the program I posted a couple weeks ago. Property tactically so people can stay in their homes, and support for people who are renting. Because the other side about you do have great tenants who are paying their rent on time, but then the landlord, they not doing what they supposed to do with the rent. They not paying the taxes. They're not paying the water bill. They supposed to pay the water portion. They're not paying insurance. They not paying the bank, so it won't go into foreclosure or whoever. They not doing their portion before they do whatever. And a lot of times don't know that the landlord done lost the house until the notices start coming to them. So that does happen too, and it's very unfortunate. I know the city is trying to do better with cracking down on that. They did have a buyback program some years back for people like tenants who lost the house they were living in because the landlord didn't pay property taxes or whatever, and they end up selling the house back to those tenants. And I don't think it was like at market or nothing like that. It was like very reasonable pricing. They're going to also invest in public spaces, completing the Ella Fitzgerald Greenway, which was the beginning of the Joe Louis Greenway back in 2017-18, but I didn't know what it was. But all that's connected. Um, they're gonna make more enhancements to Ella Fitzgerald Park. The foundation will also provide support to small business on the 6 Mile. I'm sorry, McNichols for those commercial corridor for interior and facade improvement. So that's all the outside, so it'll look nice and people want to come inside, and help y'all with marketing. So they saying this is a reflection of years of community input, resident priorities, blah 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 blah. So here is a map of the area. Like I was saying, Fitzgerald neighborhood, Bagley, University District, and Martin Park. So that is Livernois. 6 Mile. Well, this part of Fitzgerald, like what's that? The Lodge, more than likely. Then you got 6 Mile. This is well, they ain't got no street name up here, but that's Wyoming over this way, and this might be Curtis up there. All right, so they also invested in the Mary Grove College, which makes sense because they need a school to educate the people that they're going to employ. So they can't let Mary Grove fail. So I guess they partnered with them also to do some design work for the Christie project. I'm assuming by reading this little paragraph here. They said in 7 short years, Mary Grove has become home to a vibrant and ever-growing community of early learners, right, K through 12, and families who see the campus as a place of possibility because it's no longer just a college campus. They also open it up to K through 12. Is it private or what, or if it's DPS? I'm not really sure. This is pretty long, so y'all can finish this on your own time. They're gonna do sustainability stuff. They got a learning community, but this is huge. But I am gonna put my email in here so I can get updates. Cause when they do that nice grand open, I want to be there. Asia Denson, Denson Construction. I'm not a real. Almost done. I got 1, 2, 4. I actually got like 20 something, but we'll be on here all night, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 segments. We'll be on here all day. I gotta finish doing this. Select crosswalks, blah blah blah. Oh, for those who just tuning in from like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, I am live on YouTube. If you want to actually click this up, I will post. Blah blah blah. All right, next. Let me share my screen. Where is that? Enter your email. Nope. Oh, there you go. All right. So this is called Local Nonprofit Director Charged in Defraud Scheme Targeting Low-Income Detroiters. This article is actually 2 years old. This was back in February of 2024. But I wanted to talk about this because unfortunately a lot of this happens. And shout out to the city of Detroit and Detroit Title Company for doing those meetups in February, I believe it was, talking about deed fraud, because deed fraud is really bad in Detroit. They have like a whole unit at the Register of Deeds downtown. Like back in the day, you used to be able to go in there and have a hoodie on, had your face, just your eyes showing, a mask, damn near whatever, and fill out stuff and commit deed fraud, and they'll file it. You can't do that no more. You can't. I don't even think you can be on the phone when you go up to the window no more when you file stuff. So the woman was her name is Zena Thomas, 60 years old, by the way, too old to be doing this, was charged in a criminal complaint filed in U.S. District Court for her role orchestrating a fraud scheme that stole houses from dozens of Detroit residents, which was announced by the U.S. Attorney Dawn N. Eisen. The attorney was joined in the announcement by Special Agent in Charge, I can't pronounce that name, Chevy Vourier. We're just gonna call him Chevy or Shay Vourier. We're gonna call you Mr. or Mrs. Gibson. How about that? FBI, special agents, Department of Housing, so HUD, Detroit Police Chief, and the Wayne County Register of Deeds. So all of them is charging this person. The complaint charges that Thomas with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering. How is identity theft aggravated? That means you like was going off on them or something? I don't really know what that is. To my police people, could y'all explain that to me in layman's terms, please? So this person was arrested back in 2024. According to the complaint, while serving as the director of home ownership program for the United Community Housing Coalition (UCAC). So this person was over the home ownership program for the housing thing. It was stealing people. You deserve to go to jail for the rest of your life because these people entrusted you to help them with their home, to obtain a home, to help them do something with their house, and this and did it, and then you went after income people, which is probably elderly and disabled people. Wayne County, predominantly located in the complaint alleges that Thomas and others perpetrated a scheme to defraud by filing multiple fraudulent quit transferring the target property from the victim owners to non-existent internal owners before ultimately selling the properties to unwitting parties. So this was still over the home ownership program properties, deeding them over to whoever illegally to non-existent people. So probably a bunch of fake LLCs or people who done passed on or something like that, and then was selling them off to other people who either knew about it, said unwitting third party, so they didn't know that this was all a big fraud scheme. Whew. It is also alleged that these fraudulent deeds were falsely notarized by this same person. So that's how she was able to file these. She is a notary and was notarizing the deeds herself or another person that's a part of this whole little crew, which made them appear to be legitimate and enabled them to be filed at the Register of Deeds office. The complaint also alleges that Thomas emailed a Wayne County Treasurer Office employee fake driver's licenses and other documents, which then were uploaded to the Treasury's property tax administration system to halt pending foreclosures. This is all bad. So these people came to you who were facing foreclosure, because there are programs out here like Step Forward and stuff like that that'll help you get out of foreclosure, but they're gonna put a on that house in case you ever sell it, they're gonna get their money back. That's fine. They should do that. But these people were coming to you who were losing their house, and you stole the house from them, literally. Uploaded fake driver license and other documents, probably birth certificates or passports or fake DTE bills showing that they own the house, something. And then you send it over to the Treasury Property Tax Admin System to stop the foreclosure. So that way you can go on and deed it, because you got to stop the foreclosure proceeding to be able to do a quick claim deed to file it anyway. That's number one. According to the complaint, Thomas received payment for at least some of the properties via wire transfer into a bank account in the name of her realty company. So this broad was a realtor too. This is crazy. Like this type of stuff pissed me off, because you got people like me and others trying about stuff to let y'all know this type of stuff be happening. If you have elders in your family, there needs to be one able-bodied, intelligent, you ain't even got to be all the way intelligent, competent person in that family who understands the basics of real estate in Detroit or insert city here, to where stuff like this cannot happen. My family, everybody called me for something. I don't care, because I'm coming. I'm reading this. I randomly searched my family, my elders, probably make sure everything's still how it's supposed to be. This is insane. There needs to be one competent person. They ain't got to know everything. You ain't got to know how to fix and flip no house. You ain't got to know how to rehab no house. But you better know how to understand and read documents, how to go downtown to the county and pull up your address to see what the hell going on. And if you don't know how to do it, Pay Detroit Title and Escrow them little $200-300 or whatever they charge to make sure your stuff is on point. Cause of shit like this. This woman is trifling. And then you 60 years old. But I'm gonna keep reading because I know it's gonna keep pissing me off. But I'm trying to digress here. Hold on, I lost my spot. Blah blah blah. Oh, here we go. According to the complaint, Thomas received payments for at least some of the properties via wire transfer into a bank account in the name of her company, and then transferred proceeds from that account to her personal account. So that's the wire fraud. And then the other part of the wiring fraud is the uploading of fake documents. And the scheme targeted low-income individuals who were facing potential tax foreclosure, according to the complaint. Thomas currently resides in one of the properties that was involved in the damn scheme. Girl, how stupid are you? So you stealing these houses from people who already about to lose their house in the tax program, in the tax foreclosure. They come to you. That's embarrassing. Who wants to lose their house? That's an embarrassing moment. They come to you for help in dire need, putting it all their emotions and stuff, and they like, okay, cool, I can breathe, I can get help, and here you go stealing from them, and then you gonna live in one of the houses that you stole? How stupid can you be? Now, the United Community Housing Coalition, they are a nonprofit which is helping with housing assistance to low income people. They've been around for a long time, like some years. So the U.S. Attorney stated that this scheme targeted some of our most financially vulnerable to help those very people avoid losing their homes to foreclosure. This arrest is the result of a multi agency cooperative investigation involving both federal and state law enforcement. Hold on. TikTok back to Ian. Uh-oh. All right. Blah 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 blah. Oh, this arrest is the result of multi-agent cooperative investigation involving both federal and state law enforcement, and is reflective of our ongoing efforts to identify and disrupt fraud like this as quickly as possible. I wonder how it all came out. So somebody in the crew had to tell, unless enough people start filing complaints. I wonder how it came out, but I'm gonna keep reading. While working in the capacity to provide assistance to residents experiencing financial, this Thomas allegedly exploited individuals in the process of losing their homes. The FBI partners will continue to investigate these acts of fraud. Thomas allegedly abused her position, no shit, to help fraudulently sell properties facing tax foreclosure for her own personal gain. I'm not about to read all that. HUD will continue to work with law enforcement partners to bring bad actors to justice and protect the. I want to thank the U.S. Attorney and DPD for addressing and assisting with this. Oh, a rash of incoming complaints to my deed fraud task force. That's the deed office I was telling y'all about this downtown to help with deed fraud. Follow with methodical investigative teamwork. In today's announcement, says Mr. Bernard Youngblood, that's over the man over the register of deeds with the county. Blah blah blah. I guess so. Somebody called the deed hotline and filed a complaint, and I guess how this all started. And then maybe they just start at least they believe the person. So shout out to them. The complaint is only a charge and is not evidence of guilt. Trial held on the complaint. The investigation is complete. Will be made whether to seek felony indictment. So this was 2 years ago. So now I got to do some research and see if there's an update on this. Because, baby girl, you should be beneath the jail. This is wrong. And I don't know what type of time wire fraud, money laundering they carry, deed fraud, but I'm going to see if I can get an attorney to come on here and talk about this because this is crazy. Yeah, so the FBI investigated this. HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Detroit, and DPD all investigated this. This is crazy. I'm going to put this in the comments so y'all on your own time to get pissed off like me or not. But this is crazy. This is insane. This is crazy. All right, next article, because this don't piss me off. Oh, I got a video on it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna post. Let me. We gonna watch the video. Yeah, here go.
Imagine being
Let this little ad play. So this was posted on Click on Detroit YouTube channel 2 years ago.
Works at a nonprofit that helps people stay in their homes is facing a string of federal charges.
Prosecutors say instead of keeping people in their homes, Zena Thomas worked to steal them right out from under the owners. Megan Woods shows us how this alleged scheme worked with the help of one of the victims in the case.
We're here on 2nd Avenue where the United Community Housing Coalition office is. Now, this nonprofit helps Detroiters with low income get housing assistance. It's also where Zena Thomas was the director of home ownership programs.
It's saddened to see these individuals in a position of trust taking advantage of the very ones that they're hired to help.
Wayne County Register of Deeds Bernie Youngblood says they first noticed something was off when they received several complaints into their mortgage and deed fraud unit.
Number of people that we started investigating were coming out of the same location. We started recognizing the different notaries who happened to be working for the same facility.
By November of last year, the unit was meeting with Detroit Police, FBI, and the Department of Justice. Investigators discovered that Thomas and others would allegedly file multiple fraud quitclaim deeds, transferring the owners of these target properties from victims to non-existent interim owners, then sell them to someone else. The wire transfers would go to her realty company, then allegedly she would transfer it to her personal account. Bernie Youngblood says on Wayne County Register of Deeds website, there's a way to stay on top of what's happening with your property.
Anytime a transaction comes through our office in your name, your property address, you'll be able to get a notification from us that a transaction is being processed because you were at the closing. You do nothing. If it is a problem, they say, wait, that's not my signature. Then you call our fraud team.
Even though Zena Thomas is charged, this is still an open investigation. So if you had any interaction with her or are concerned that you may be a victim, we'll put those resources on clickondetroit.com. In Detroit, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, Megan, according to the FBI, in 2021, real estate fraud cost Americans $350 million in damages.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like the audacity, dog. The audacity. Like that. I'm telling. If y'all got any elders, I might have to talk to Chase or somebody. We might have to do a class just for real. And I'm gonna reach out to Emma and them, my crew, Detroit Title Escrow, and my homies. I'm gonna always shout her out. Because I don't know no other title company in Detroit who's compassionate, actually care about you, the homeowner, to make sure all your stuff is right before you do anything. Or even if you're on the buyer side, they make sure it's right. They make sure that boy changed hands every time. If it was a tax foreclosure, they make sure that person got served right. Because if not, then they got to do a FOIA and all types. Make sure everything was smooth. Like that we might have to do a class just for seniors and go over this, because that really pisses me off, because I got seniors in my family and I done went down south to help my family in other states because I just look stuff up where I know realtors and brokers there and they'll look out for me, and vice versa with me helping them with their family here. That's crazy. And that's been hell by now. All right, next article. Home builders mobile home group sue to block new construction codes. I remember this because I get all my emails being, a licensed builder, whatever, from the state. So we get updates on this. Now, this is another not Click on Detroit, a Crane one article. So I gotta renew my dang on thing to continue reading the article. But basically, a lot of builders are suing the state, and a lot of group homes are suing the state of Michigan because of these new residential construction and energy conservation codes that they are implementing, which is going to raise the cost of doing construction and to really do them correctly, it's going to really price out new homeowners out the market. Now, I've been doing energy work. I started in 2022. I took my first class with Walker Miller Energy. Shout out to them. And I'm grateful for that free class I was able to take. And shout out to my boy Reggie P, because he forwarded me the email and I applied for it. And this is history. And in that class, I met my boy Brian. This was 4 years ago. And that class is really, it's life changing, because all the stuff I learned that I didn't know with this energy stuff is serious. So they're in talks of making it mandatory. I don't know if Michigan gonna be one of them states, but probably. I've already done did this. From when we was in class, they talked about it. So they're in talks about making it mandatory that before you, the homeowner, can sell your home, you got to do an energy audit, so that the new person who buys the house knows what's going on with that house. So I don't know if you can still do an as is. I guess it'll still be an as is sale, but they want the audit report with it. And I know I did it with City of Ann Arbor. I think Ann Arbor did this or is doing this. See, energy audits. Maybe it'll pass up. It was something because they pulled the article when I was in class, but the second energy class I took was 2024, so I don't really remember. Maybe I can find it and post it later. But it was talking about this to where they're going to start making it mandatory to where either when you sell your home, you got to do an energy audit, or when you buy the home, be it new construction or an older renovated home or not renovated, they're making people do energy audits. Now, I'm kind of for it, but then I don't know, because that still might mess people up too, because that's like another thing that you have to pay for. These energy audits ain't cheap. Baby, I charge $700 and I'm on the low end. I know some people $950,000 and up. Like, energy audits is some damn good money. But the equipment you need to do the audit like $10, $15, $20,000. But you're gonna make it back because you're charging $700+. All right. Now, if you want to be an employee that does energy audits, you're gonna be making at least 25, 40, $50 an hour. I done seen some jobs. It depends on how much experience you got in your, if you're a senior level, stuff like that. But it's some damn good money, and you really ain't gotta work that hard. Be honest. There's a little computer stuff you gotta do in kind of some shape, because there's a lot of up and down steps, going to the attic, going to the basement, going outside, all that. I was sweating like bullets when I took my test, but your girl be getting her steps in, okay? So with these energy audits, they do this thing. If when you get a chance, look up blower door testing, and then you can kind of see what it looks like. And it's going to tell you everywhere in your house where air is leaking out, which is making your energy bills be high as hell. Every Detroit house is going to fail. It just really is. Especially every older Detroit house is going to fail. Most of these houses in Detroit either don't have insulation, because I've gutted some houses that had no insulation, or if it did, it was newspaper. Hence why a lot of these old houses back in the day used to go up in flames in the wintertime when the kerosene lap, because the spark went the wrong way and poof. Another issue you won't have old houses with this aluminum siding, energy bill through the roof. What else? A lot of attics ain't insulated all in the city of Detroit, and if they are insulated, they're insulated. Windows, you got them old raggedy aluminum windows in there. Every time you breathe, the air goes outside. Every time the wind blows, because the windows are old and they're not energy efficient with a U factor, energy rated, all this good stuff. Appliances, a lot of these old appliances just sucking up all the juice, making all these humming noises when you turn your refrigerator on. But them old appliances do last a little bit longer, so it's like a give and take. So that's energy efficient stuff. What else? Your roof. If you ain't got a new roof in 40 years and you got all type of leaks, it right or layer it right, or your decking got holes in it, all that's energy efficient, which is affecting your home and affecting your bills. If you got an old furnace in your house, especially them old octopus boys or the big ones, Yeah, they still work, but that's why your bill high. Um, Old hot water tanks, high bill. Old AC units, high bill. All that makes your bills high. So the state of Michigan they do have programs out here to help with those. I gotta post more about them. I'm still in the process of doing a couple jobs with them before I really start putting it out there because I got over 700 people waiting for me to get to their house, and I'm only one person. So until I can hire more energy auditors, then that'll help take that time down as far as at least coming to do your audit. And now you just waiting in line to get the work done. So that's one thing. But all these things combined make your bills high as hell with DTE or consumers energy, or insert who your energy thing is here. And Michigan is an old state and Detroit is an old city. Detroit is almost 400 years old, and a lot of these old houses are 100 plus years old with some of the same old crap in there. Or that house ain't had a new furnace since 77. It still work, yeah, but that's why you bill $1,700 because you got that old ass furnace in there. So you got to start replacing all this old stuff, and I guess they're gonna make people do the audit, so inspect it, and it might have passed that. Now the audit can kind of back up or discredit the inspection. I'm assuming, so you, the new buyer, can know. Okay, I know I got to do this, that, and the other when I get the new house. So I don't know if Detroit gonna implement that, but I think Ann Arbor already did. If I can find an article, but that's just something, little FYI. But as far as the building code goes, so with them trying to start enforcing this in some neighborhoods, a lot of builders came together and they're suing Laura or the state of Michigan / Lansing for this because they're like, hey, how y'all gonna force us to do this when people already can't pay for this service? You think about they gonna pay for this? Because to put in the energy efficient hot water tank or furnace costs way more than that regular 80 BTU people putting up in there. You talking about a 95, 99.9% furnace. Them boys ain't cheap with the heat pump and all that shit. Shit ain't cheap, but it works. So you pay your money on the front end, but you get it on the back end by getting your bills lowered because that's gonna help your cost of living and blah blah blah. All right, so that's my little energy spiel. Next article. Detroit. This is my favorite online thing. I suggest y'all subscribe. Detroit launches a $1 million seawall repair program for floods in Jefferson Charmers. Now, if you're an East Sider like me, Jefferson Charmers is a very beautiful neighborhood. But now everybody else knows Jefferson Charmers is nice, and gentrification is going over there like crazy. Majority brick houses. Literally, the Detroit River is down the street, so a lot of those houses over there flood when it rains bad. I mean, so you have to make sure you have flood insurance on your homeowner's insurance. Make sure you got flood at least about $50,000. So whatever basement you got going on down, Detroiters, we love our basement. You get a check for all your damages. Okay. So they talking about doing the seawall. Now, also in Jefferson Charmers neighborhood, you got another small neighborhood called Harbor Village, which is kind of right before you get to Jefferson Charmers. I really can't tell you how to get there. I just know how to get there because it's so low key. You got to literally go over this little bridge to get to the real nice part. Then you got one part where your backyard is literally Detroit Route. Like, it's beautiful over there, and it's black and white over there. Been like that for years. People got boats in their backyard just sitting in the water. Like, it's so freaking nice. I done rehab some houses over there, a couple years ago, and it's very beautiful. Like, if I was to move to really move there, either there or Morgan Waterford Estates. That's nice. That's a newer neighborhood, maybe like 20 years old. But like Jefferson Charmers, Harbor Village, them houses 50, 100, 125, 130 years old. Like, they are gorgeous. Harbor Village, you're not getting over there probably for under 400,000, and you're still going to have to rehab the house. Now, when the market was bad, you can get over there about 125. Them days is gone, boo. And a lot of the people over there who own this are boomers, baby boomers. So they are 60. That might be Gen X still, but I think boomers start 1964 to 1940 something. Because my mom was a boomer, somewhere up in there. But it's mainly the elders, your senior citizens that's living over there. Ain't nobody over there probably under 55, easy, unless they inherited the house, blase speak. But I say that to say, if you live over there, please don't sell. All right, so they talking about putting a seawall up to help with, or replace one. Wait, is this to replace or repair? So they doing a $1 million pilot program to repair or replace some seawalls for low-income Jefferson Charmers or homeowners along the canals which feeds the Detroit River. So it's a bunch of small little canals and little mini rivers over there that lead to the Detroit River. And that's another reason why people basements flood. When we get all them little canals can't hold all that water, so it's pushing, and that's what the seawall is needed for. So they're trying to prioritize 15 to 20 properties that could help move the neighborhood off of FEMA's flood hazard map because it's in that zone because it floods that bad over there. So they did a survey back in 2025 and they found that 70% of the neighborhood waterfront properties have seawalls in fair or poor condition. I believe the seawall should be on the city and not on the homeowner. And because I don't think that's a part of their yard, I don't think. So some officials from the city housing and revitalization department, they launched an application for a seawall program to assist low income homeowners with that. So maybe it is on the homeowner, kind of like how we got to take care of our alley. Maybe it's something like that. I'm not really sure. But one of the reasons this project came about was the high water flooding that they had in recent past, especially when everybody basement flooded in what was that, 22 and 23. That time when every basement was flooded, and it really the point where it was like coming up people's basement stairs, and that's good. Water is a fire over a estimated around more. I'm assuming at least they trying to get the majority of the money, I guess. But it's aimed to move this neighborhood off the FEMA flood map, prioritize low-income neighborhood owners, which a lot of them are over there. This is like on Lenox Street. It's another street over there with an S I can't think of. It's a funny name, but all of that. And these are for people who do not have delinquent property taxes and do not have a boathouse or a slip. So not those people purely that got the seawall right at their house. Now, if you do have delinquent property listening to this, there are programs that help you. You have the HOPE program that'll pay the current year taxes, and in some cases, if they have enough funding, they will pay your delinquent taxes as well. And I don't know if they'll pay all 3 years, but every little bit helps. Okay. So they saying the guidelines could be flexible depending on how many people actually apply. So they will start. This started in February. They said it was accepted to March 23rd or whatever. They said it's supposed to continue until 2027. Now, the issue is, do people in the neighborhood know about this program so they could apply? And the ones who did know, or if they all do know, did they even apply? Because when I be posting these programs, y'all be going off on me and my DMs as if I got something to do with who gets picked for the damn program. The other side of the people who get upset because all of the stuff they ask for. Do you know how many people miss out on opportunities in Detroit or just in general because they don't want to fill out no damn paperwork? And it's not this is everything. This is business, this is programs, everything. A lot of the contracts I get is because I sat and filled out 20 pages of paperwork that Joe Blow Smoke Plumbing and Contractor didn't want to fill out. Honestly, that's how I get a lot of work because I love paperwork. Paperwork have a little 80s, 90s, 2000 R&B list playing, and I'm just gonna sit there and get it popping. I'm not gonna let no paperwork stop me from making no money. Like the energy contract I got, it's a lot of paperwork. I'm still learning it. Once I get a system together, I'm gonna hire me an office manager assistant, teach them, and we gonna get paid. Cause we gonna run it up because nobody wants to do all the paperwork that it takes to do these energy efficient jobs. It's a lot, but the payout is worth it. If I ain't gonna say if, when I do this energy contract right, I have guaranteed 3 to 5 years worth of work just sitting getting waiting on me. Just waiting. So Paperwork is going to always stop a lot of people from achieving whatever it is. And I would never understand it, especially with all this technology out here that'll help you fill the paperwork out. Like, come on, y'all. Use your brain. Let's work smarter, not harder. But I digress. We're going to get back to the article. So the assessments for the seawalls are supposed to start this summer, which makes sense because it's hard to do it in the winter. And then the repair process is expected to continue into 2027. It's probably gonna take a little longer than that because if y'all ain't assessing to the summer, are y'all gonna start in the summer too or the fall and then we right back cold? You feel me? So that's a problem. Yeah, households got devastated. I remember that. City councilman over there, so that's District 4. So this is the pilot project to test the seawall restoration to stop the flood, I guess, to see how it go, and then they're gonna probably ramp it up. The Army Corps engineer published a study of long-term flood mitigation strategies for the neighborhood, proposing 3 recommendations for how the city could reduce property damage and health hazards in the neighborhood. Among the recommendations, keeping the canals open by strengthening the neighborhood shoreline with reinforced seawalls. This strategy would allow the canals to remain open to the public and could remove the Jefferson Chalmers FEMA flood hazard area off the map. So I guess that's real big. It probably is big because they keep paying to fix it every year, and it makes more sense economically to fix it the right way one time instead of have to keep fixing people's basement. And as a homeowner, that got to be stressful. So they said it's going to be $20 million for a study and subsequent project. So to do the study and do the project. So I guess the $1 million was just the pilot to see how it works, and then the remaining 19 million or 20 million, if it's 21 million total, will go toward doing the repair. Because that ain't no cheap job. That's underground welding and all that stuff in that seawall, which is why I keep telling y'all getting these trades, because the trade is where it's at. So they saying that they're not gonna fix everything with just these 20 homes, but this I agree. So the shoreline need work up to 70%. So they gotta either do some more digging over there, dig down, pour some concrete in, do a whole lot of backfilling on top. It's a lot. But they got a link on here for the article for you to apply or a number to call. Even if the deadline has passed, call anyway. Because I guarantee everybody ain't apply for it. And they need a certain amount of people to probably do it anyway. So some of the materials you need to apply, which probably needs to be in your name, income documentation, income, your valid government ID or passport or driver's license. And you can schedule your appointment at the AB4 Community Center or upload online via a secure link. So if you don't know how to do that, ask little man and them to help you and get your seawall repaired so your basement stop flooding. And I'm gonna post this in the comments so y'all as well. All right, we almost done. I think I got one more. Y'all, this is my last article. This is another one on the crane. I gotta go renew my stuff, y'all, so forgive me. But y'all, I think when you're a new person, you can read so many for free before they make you sign up. And I'll put this one in the comments too. All right. Last update for today. I actually got a whole lot more, but I'm gonna have to break it up into another video because we'll be on here all day. I know y'all like my voice and all, but that's a lot. All right. Detroit looks to cultivate housing on vacant land on the west side. This is on West Warren, near the Strategic Neighborhood Fund. Well, I'm sorry, presented by the Strategic Neighborhood Fund District along West Warren Avenue. Now, West Warren Avenue is by what class? The Joe Louis Greenway. So, of course, they got to make that whole area, which ain't nothing over there for real. We talking like West Warren and Livernois up in that little pocket. The Greenway coming right through there because that's going to connect, I believe, into parts of Joy Road and all that. I would have to pull the map up to see. But anyway, this is what they're proposing it to look like. It looks like they're trying to turn West Warren into Livernois because that's kind of how Livernois look right now, with the streetscapes, the shrubbery, and the restaurants and businesses on both sides, and making it more pedestrian and Walker, friendly or whatever. But yeah, that's what they trying to do. So I believe this is part of Joe Louis Greenway. So you will see more proposed streetscape plans for upcoming neighborhoods along that Greenway. Because remember, y'all, the Greenway go through the hood of the hood. Uh, you can walk. Most of the West Side part is done, if not 100% done. And right now they're in Highland Park, because Highland Park will be the part that connects East and West together to loop that bad boy on back downtown. So last I looked, they stopped at the old railroad track above Woodward. It say Joe Louis Greenway, nice black, beautiful bold font or whatever. Well, black background with white font. And over by where Powerhouse Gym at, and where it's right before you used to get to where Highland Park High School was. So that's the Joe Louis Greenway, that whole railroad. And they're up there somewhere. I have to go up there and look. But this one guy did a video on his bike that's doing numbers. I think I reposted it on the page in the repost section. But that's where they stopped at. I don't know if they ran out of money or they just ain't started back yet, because the weather just not starting to break. But now we're in rainy season. But I'm gonna keep preaching this Joe Louis Greenway. I've been but I didn't know what the hell it was. Oh, I'm back. My bad, y'all. Technical difficulties. I'm at the office, so I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. So my bad. But I had been seeing it because it originally started the little pathway over there by Marygrove, cutting through Fitzgerald and Bagley on this side of 6 Mile, on the side where Nikki D's Pizza at 6 Mile, Livernois. So it was coming through that little pathway. And at first they were saying this is a part of Mary and UAD, so people can walk from school to home, blah blah blah. And that was low key the beginning of the Greenway. And this was damn near 10 years ago. Had no idea, but I didn't really know what it was till 2022. And apparently nobody in the city knew what it was until I started talking about it, because wasn't nobody talking about this. And I'm like, dog, this is crazy. So if you live on that Greenway, keep your damn house. If Mama and Pawpaw got a house over there, you and the family at the Sunday at the church, y'all need to go somewhere and have a good chicken dinner and get it together. Make sure point, y'all need to set up a family trust so that house can pass down whenever they time come, and y'all ain't got to worry about no probate and worry about no mess. Now, I'm not an attorney. This is not legal or financial advice, but this is what a suggestion is. That's all I'm gonna say. So do that, but make sure it gets passed down right. They supposed to start doing the meetings back, so I'll post them. I haven't been to one probably since 24, because I kind of stopped going because it was really pissing me off. Because some of the people they be having up there talking is just flat out lying to these elders and these homeowners, talking about they're not going to get this place. They're going to get this place. And they're going to get displaced because, of course, naturally, as development comes, taxes are going to rise. And they're already low income retired people or insert here, and some of them just ain't going to have the money for the upkeep of the outside of the house. People was in this meeting complaining about all the calls they are starting to get from these buyers and developers and investors who want to buy their house. And then you got some developers and buyers out here who ain't gonna take no for an answer and gonna be an asshole, and they gonna call the city on these people. And then the city gonna start finding them, start trying to condemn the house so they can get it that way, saying that the exterior of the house is unlivable and should nobody live there. And it's that, like, people was in these meetings talking like that. This is what's been happening to them. That's why I keep telling y'all, take care. If you can take care of the exterior of your home, keep your grass cut, keep the shrubs cut down. Make sure ain't no missing shingles on the roof. Gutters ain't hanging. Gutters clean. Downspouts is up. If it's a brick house, tuck point the house siding. Make sure the siding is good on the house. Make sure the outside of your house looks like somebody lived there. Because the first thing they're gonna do when you start telling these people no, they're gonna see if the first thing they're gonna do is see if the property tax is up to date. They can't get them that way. All right, let me see if any code violations on here. Ain't no code violations on here. Let's make some code violations. I'm about to start complaining to the city. Because it only takes 2 or 3 complaints for the city to come out there. It don't take much. But most times the city will say, oh, a homeowner lives there, and that should dead it. But if it don't, then here we go with this back and forth. Because it's all a game. So make sure that paperwork is on point. People be talking about how they gangsters out here and stuff. That type of person. I am a nerd. I'm a proud L7. But let me tell you something. The biggest gangsters out here is the one who control that black and white with a goddamn pen. The stroke of a pen can take away everything from a person and gain somebody else everything. So remember that. That black, like how all these music artists and stuff been these bad contracts because they don't read but they still sign. It don't matter if you read or not. You put your John or Jane Hancock on there, and that's all that matters. Make sure you read stuff before you sign it. If you don't understand something, say I don't understand, make them explain it to you. And if the way they explain it don't make sense, pull that phone out and record it. Take that to an attorney. Whatever that consultation fee is, find some offer free consultation for 30 minutes. Find one of them and ask them, hey, can you go over this contract and explain this to me in layman's terms? I recorded what they said, but this, like my mom always told me, if it don't sound right, it don't feel right, leave. And I apply that to everything, business, friendships, whatever. Leave. If I go somewhere and it don't feel right, the vibes don't feel right, I'm gone. So y'all need to apply that same stuff to this. Like that black and white is everything. And if you don't do right with it, you can, like, it's really that serious. The black and white is the biggest gangster out here with struggle with pen. So I'm gonna end the show on that. Back to the church announcement. Real Estate Fridays is next week. The link is in my bio if you on Instagram and TikTok watching this, or LinkedIn, so you can sign up. If the tickets say sold out, still come anyway. We gonna still honor it. Just come. All we ask that you support the business, the Detroit Pizza Bar, with at least $15 of spending on some drinks and some pizza or whatever. I suggest you get there early. We start them at 7:15, 7:30, but I'm gonna say 7 because y'all gonna be on CP time, so y'all will be there by 7:30. Now, if you want a good seat or a seat in general, because last year that boy was standing room only, get there early and a good parking spot. You're gonna be walking down 6 Mile for a couple blocks, and them blocks from 6 Mile is long. Also, if you are a tenant in the city of Detroit, I need you, baby. I need you on my new YouTube show. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go viral. I have a great idea. You will find out what it is when you come. All I need is you to come and be, put your best on. We're gonna have a good time. It's funny, it's cool. And I think that's it. The schedule for Real Estate Fridays for the whole year is posted on Instagram. I also post it here in the community tab on YouTube. And I think that's it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you can get updated. I have a lot of stuff coming up. I have a podcast coming up. People say that What Up Though Fridays is considered a podcast. I don't. I got an actual podcast coming up where I'm going to interview people in Detroit that look like me, that's doing great, and that don't look like me, that's from here. But I used to watch HGTV getting mad, like on that new Detroit show they were showing with the realtor and that guy, and I'm just like, this ain't real Detroit. So instead of me getting mad and being frustrated, I just create my own stuff. So I think that's it. Oh, let me see if I got any questions in the comments with the articles. Yeah, you gotta subscribe. I gotta renew mine. But if you're a college student, it's real cheap. I'm gonna see if I still got access to my college ID, so I might sign up that way. Any questions? Yeah, I don't know why I was breaking up. She been doing, yeah, that lady with that deed fraud is insane. She should be in prison because that was 2 years ago. So I'm hoping she's convicted now. The Dirty D, What Up Though? That's a great show on Tubi. They got Restaurant of the Year. I don't remember what that was about. No question. YouTube. This is on YouTube services. So just go over there and this will be up as soon as I get off here. You can go back and watch it. I got all the links to the articles that I was reading over in the comments, so you'll be able to check them out as well. I got to go back to work. You're informed. Oh, thank you. Have fun at work. I regret missing the beginning. I was working. It's on YouTube, baby. HVAC guy here, you are correct. Look, them contractors be mad. That's how it's going on school. Program is a scam. It's only for people who are low income. Well, I don't think it's a scam. But if it's only for people that's low income, that doesn't make it a scam. That means it's only for people that's low income. I don't see how that makes it a scam. I bought a house in the city and can't get any help. Well, you shouldn't be buying a house if you don't have the funding to I mean rephrase that. I ain't gonna say you shouldn't buy a house, but you shouldn't buy a house with options in mind on how you're gonna rehab it. But if all your goal was to buy it until you can get the money to rehab it, that's fine too. I done did that too, so that's okay. But you still gotta have a plan. If your credit not good, get your credit together. You always use your credit cards to rehab, or use your credit card to get a loan, a 2 or 3K loan if it's your primary, or reach out to some hard money lenders to get a loan that way, or your bank to get a personal loan and rehab it that way. So it's ways to do stuff, because I'm in the process of getting a loan so I can finally finish Big Red, because I'm tired of riding by my junk and I ain't making no money from it. But I ain't gonna say the critical program is a scam. If it's for people that's low income, then it's for people that's low income. That doesn't make it a scam. That's just who it's for. Let me see. What's the name of the video? I want to watch that John in the car. Oh, you from Philly? I got all the links to the articles in the comments on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Denson Construction Services. All right, that's it on IG. Let me check the TikTok. But disclaimer, none of this is attorney legal advice, because I am not an attorney. Always speak to an attorney in your state or county/city to find out what applies to you where you live. And the same goes for financial advice. Always reach out to your local accountant, CPA firm to find out what is best for you and your business or your personal when it comes to doing whatever you're trying to do. So, disclaimer. But I don't think I see nothing on TikTok for questions. So I'm gonna blow this popsicle stand. Thank y'all for tuning in for almost 2 hours listening to me rant and rave and go off about what's going on in my great city of Detroit. So I hope y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe. Deuces.